at the end of the day. Not every day's a victory, not every trade a gold, but he's learned to weather storms, let the stories unfold. With his eyes on the prize, his heart in the fray, Tebow stands tall at the end of the day. A victory, not every trade a gold, but he's learned to weather storms, let the stories unfold.
All right, thanks for that, Adam. What a way to get pumped up on a Thursday morning, October 2nd. Markets are pulling back a little bit here. We got the monthly open coming up. I know that Tom's going to be joining us in just a moment here, waiting for that camera to come on. And of course, we might as well go ahead and get this risk disclaimer out of the way. There is a very high degree of risk involved in trading. And past performance is not indicative of future results. And all the other things that fit in here. So yeah, nice trades on the QQQ, TLT. Yeah, Palantir trying to work its way out. Let's see. A couple questions coming in. What does it mean when I get an alert of a pivot number? Does it mean it's going to that number? Basically, a pivot number is what we use to judge the market. So when we're looking at markets, we focus on the half-hour time frames. For instance, the open of the most recent half-hour time frame at the start of this hour, I look at the S&P futures. They were at 67.49.75. So when I see where they are right now at 67.44.50, I'm going to do a quick question answer. Is 67.44.50 above or below 67.49.75? Well, the answer is it's below. And so that sort of focuses. If you're thinking about doing a bullish trade and you see the market below the pivot number, maybe not do that. And if you're thinking about doing a bearish trade and the market's below the pivot number, okay, that's, one check. So it kind of pushes us towards this is what we should be thinking about, or this is what we shouldn't be thinking about. So are you on the right side of the market with the way you're thinking about it? That's what a pivot number does for us. Good morning, Tom. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Sometimes you better be lucky than good. I mean, I think we're 3-0 already, Chuck, for the month of October. Good way to start out, huh?
Yeah, certainly kicking it off with a bang. They're giving some of that back right now, though. So I wonder, looking at how far back that goes, talking about pivot numbers, the biggest pivot number we've got in October so far is the open of the month, and we are still above that number. So below the open of the day, above the open of the month, kind of a mixed read this morning.
Yeah, but think about this. Last night, if people were listening, I said that the target today would be 67.79 last night. What was the high in the S&P, Chuck?
Made it up to 82.25, Tom.
I'd say that's a pretty good call from last night to the high this morning, 79. And did anybody remember what I said when I said that last night? I said, hey, hold me accountable to this, 79. Yeah, because that was a heck of a call. And I can do that sometimes when it sets up like it did. But they bought all through the night. Everything looked good. If you look at it, it just looked good. And then they got overdone that first 30 minutes. This is the power. If you don't learn anything else today, this is the power of having a reference bar. If you look at the reference bar right there, does everybody see that reference bar? That tells you that tells you to cool it. That tells you to cool it, okay? And when you see that, you definitely want to be cognizant of the fact that the market is correcting. It's not crashing, it's correcting. And Chuck said it best, the opening of the month is 67.25. And if you look at that chart, that's quite a bit. My pivot number was 67.55, and we're currently 67.52. Probably, you know, five points down, 5 points up is the noise zone. The midpoint is 67.69, I believe, 67.69. And so when you see this, what you do is you say to yourself, okay, that's pretty cool because I'm 3-0 for the month. And I think we still got Palantir working. Put Palantir in there. Let's take a look at Palantir.
By the way, Tom, 63 is the midpoint now for the day.
Yes, it dropped from 69. This morning when we were talking with our SPX, another successful session this morning with SPX, because everybody agreed it was a stay out market, and they were right. That's Palantir. Notice Palantir is still inside. You see how it's outperforming the general market? We're on the right horse there. It just hadn't started running yet, okay? I don't think it's started running. You're welcome. You're welcome, Terry. But anyway, we're 3-0, right, Jonathan? 3-0 coming into today.
That's right. October starting out good. Great.
Yeah. Did we hit one ticker again? And what's the record there again on the one ticker? I think we hit it again this morning.
Sure did. Up to 29 in a row.
That's unbelievable.
29 in a row. Yep.
What do y'all think? Anybody take that trade in one ticker? Let me ask that question. I feel good. Dodged a bullet. Where you go, Cherry? All right, former Air Force officer, active trader since the 70s, member of the CME, author of 3 books, worked with students since 1996, currently running about 88% accuracy, higher than my normal. I'm usually 4 out of 5. I think that's the general, people with me would agree that's a pretty solid number, 4 out of 5, but we're 88% right now over the last almost 200 trades. And we're going into our period, as Chuck defines. You know, you've heard me talk about the golden age of silver. Chuck defines this as the golden age of Tom, October through December. Money time. 3 books. I encourage you to read them. At DTI, we help you master the markets through education, training, and experience. In my opinion, you will know the correction's over if we go above 67.70. And when I mean the correction we've had today will be over, we'll get above 67.70. So write that number down, okay? Way to go, Pete. 67.70. We held the, did everybody look at the money maker? Did y'all see the money maker where we had 67.45 as our support level? Did everybody notice that in the TNT room? That 67.45 was our support on the money maker. This is key information, you know, to keep your emotions intact. That's the money maker. I use it every day, and I use it every time frame. Now, there's an NVIDIA trade we made. 9% return. I like it. We'll get back in when the storm clouds clear today. Going higher. Tesla, we'll get back in when the storm clouds Still, way to go, Project Zebra. Now you talk about a great group, Project Zebra. We couldn't buy a trade about the first 4 or 5 we did in Project Zebra. We've been on a streak. We finished up the first half up about almost 20% in the first half, and the second half is going to be a lot better. 14% right there. I love it. And there's the one ticker, 27%. Got to have a little bit of that. One ticker, 29 winners in a row for one ticker payouts. Now, let's do this. Let's have a little fun, okay? Adam, are you here? See if Adam's here.
He's here, Tommy. He might be in a meeting, but he's here.
This is the meeting needs to be at. So, because I'm about to ask the question, okay? Here's the question. Let's go to a blank page and type in the following. I want Adam to give us the amounts, okay? Adam, for SPX, the annual is 2,000. I'll start you out, okay? SPX is 2,000. This is the annual. 2,000. Roadmap, 1,000. One ticker, I'm guessing about 1,000 for the year. Moonlight, another 1,000. $2,400 for the TNT. Let's see, that's 3,400, 4,400, 5,500. Sawgrass is 1,000. Okay, 25-cent traders, another 1,000. Just a second, I have to remember this. Let's see. I gave you Moonlight. Genesis is 2,000. Sunrise, 2,000. Tuesday Power Place, 1,500. Afterburner Lux, 1,500. T-Buzz All Stars, 1,000. What's all that add up to be?
Yeah, Weekend Profits Club as well.
Yeah, we could pass. What is that? 1,500?
I'm not sure, but we'll put.
Yeah, I think it's 1,500. MTI Adam's not included in here because that's a lifetime. What's that total add up? Add that up for me.
Options.
Add that up. That's 1 year.
Adding it up now, 2,000.
There's probably some I forgot about, but anyway, that's
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's 20 grand.
20 grand right there. Put 20 grand out there. And there's more, but 20 grand. So when I tell you, if you're new and want to save a bunch of money, now we go back to the goal slide. Okay, you go to the gold slide. If you join the gold, it's 10 grand. It's for a year. And just to give you an idea, since May, I've done 190 trades in all those services, okay? And running at 88% accuracy. You see why I say if you're like what I do, want to be part of it, do the goal. Saves you money. That's why Carol always types in here. Carol's been saying this all along. She spent about 40 grand and then she figured out the goal. Does that explain it better for the new people, how valuable this is at 10? And if you talk to Kelly, Jeffrey, or Corrine, they'll work it out with you if you need to, do it in a couple slots. They'll be glad to do that. Minimum 5, of course, then pay the other 5 over the next 60 days. If you want to do it that way, I'm cool with that. Okay. Anyway, does that explain the goal for all? I know all the goal people know that, but why should all the new people go the other way? Pretty good stuff, huh? All service programs, Grand, all services. Total's about 20, Rob. About 20 on what I accounted for. It's probably more or less higher than that. It's probably closer to 25, 27,000. You probably forgot a couple things. Anyway, that's the goal program. I just wanted to take time today and highlight that because if you're new, I'd encourage, if you like what I do, to go gold. Okay? Especially with my record of finding the right trades. 3-0 here in October. Pretty happy about the way we started out. Okay, let's keep going now. Now this is totally free. You don't have to be a member. I'm doing this just out of the fact I wanted to show people how to manage their retirement money the last half of the year. We're off to a great start. We meet on Friday at 2 o'clock. And just wanted to show people how to do that. If you join a retirement plan, try to get a Tasty Trade account. And if you get one, send an email to Jonathan, let him know, because we were talking to them and they haven't been very good about keeping track of it. So we're going to stay a little tighter. Email Roe at DTI Trader, get that link. Okay. Click there. Let's start building our list. Okay, this is October. Let's build our list. Seven Sisters obviously will be part of it. This is our new list for October.
Okay, there it is in the chat. Let's get this link updated.
I think so, Robin. Absolutely. All right, so this is the list that we had in September, right, Jonathan?
Right.
Okay, we've had 2 days, or this is the second day. You gonna update it, or what are you gonna do?
I figured we build the stocks you want on here first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, Apple, Amazon, AMD, MU, NVIDIA, Google, Tobra, Tesla, Palantir, You got Berkshire on there? I didn't see Berkshire.
It's right here.
There it is. Okay, Berkshire Hood. Okay.
Anything you want to take off?
Oklo, NNE, I bid. I'm just looking at your list.
Yeah,
Say
you'll have to-
something.
if you want to leave something. Or, I mean, you'll have to say if you want to take something off, is what I've tried to say.
You got Home Depot. You got Home Depot. I thought I saw it.
Right here.
Yeah, okay. You got Uber.
Yeah, I should have Uber. Thought I did. Let's add Uber right here.
Okay.
Now, Tom, is there anything you want to get rid of?
Let's get past the first 3 days before we start eliminating things, okay?
Okay.
That's a pretty extensive list, you know?
Yeah, it is. So we added Uber underneath Reddit. Okay. Insert row. Let me add the month open on here.
You want me to give them to you? I got it.
No. Don't want to do all that. I'm gonna take us over to roadmap so you can see what I'm doing over here.
Okay.
Leaving you in the dark. Let's see. Let's insert another column. See if we can pull in a month open without having to restart roadmap or open any charts. Yeah, it looks like it's good. For most of them, let's get them filled in. Yeah, they're still filling in right now, but coming in nicely. And I think, let's see here. Let me check. I know we added the month high and low. Did we add the prior day high and low? Prior week high and low. Okay, we'll go to the numbers that pay here in a little bit to grab the prior day high and low. But we got the month high and low so far. So just move this over here. I'm gonna copy this to a clipboard and take us back over to the spreadsheet.
The nice thing about it, Robin and everybody else, Jonathan updates this for us all. There's not any days that go by he doesn't update it. And if you have that link, yours is updated automatically. You can't beat that for VIP service.
Hang on. Let me make sure I pay attention and put the right information on here. There's your month open, 67.25 on the S&P. All right.
And only Jonathan can read it. It's so small.
If you look up here, it says updated October 1st. That's gonna, when I change that to October 2nd with the date, we'll be good. I'll drag the above FTD high and low column over once we get past the 3 days.
This is day 2, right?
Today's day 2, that's right. There you have it. Now we can grab the prior day high and low time. I'll have to spend a little bit of time building that over on this other screen with the numbers that pay. Happy to do
Yeah,
so.
that's fine. I mean, this is a good start. this is a good start. We got another day to go. We'll get the third day out of the way. And yeah, this is a good start. I'm happy with what you've done. Sounds good to me.
We just scanned through this real quick. We got the S&P at 67.51. It's closer to the monthly high, the monthly low. Everybody see that? Same for the NASDAQ. It's closer to the high for the month instead of the low. Now the Dow looks to be pretty close to right in the middle on the Dow. Crude oil closer to the low. In fact, almost at the low for the month. It probably made that new monthly low today, if I had to guess. Gold, 38.58. It's closer to the low. Silver, closer to the low. Bonds, closer to the high. Bitcoin, closer to the high. So as we go through this, obviously there's no action to be taken during these first 3 days. It's just kind of a watch period. But that's what we're looking for as we go through the first 3 days. And then after the 3 days is formed, I'll fill in the FTD high and low columns. I'll drag these over here. Right now they don't mean anything, so don't pay attention to that long. I'll drag them over, and then we'll be all set to go throughout every day of the month.
I love this little sheet he's come up with. It's great for a real quick and dirty look at what's going on in the market. We do that every day of the month. We've got a sheet to reference things. Buck, I don't know anything about WPay. Pays out on Wednesday, in case you want to add it to your list. WPay, you want to put it down there, Jonathan? WPay is the ticker.
WPay, okay. I'll have to look at what that is.
We'll put it in there because track it and see what it says. Okay. Well, that covers that pretty good. Thank you.
All right. Get us back over to the slides here.
You got to change that to October 11th, your slide.
I sure do, don't I?
Yep. That's what I'm here for, to notice those little things.
Hey, the months go by when you're having fun, and Train and Trade has been a good time. Good time.
All right, I want to go live to Talk and Trade. I want to show some people something that came out of Talk and Trade. Go to Talk and Trade real quick. The actual live Telegram channel.
Okay. Yeah,
and pull what Chuck posts for RB3. That's what I really want to show. Go to that section of it.
All right. Let's see. For RB3, here it is right here. You try to zoom in. Actually, it's larger, not zooming in.
Is that what Chuck posted? Okay.
Yeah, that's RB3. Yep.
Yeah. If you look at that, does everybody see that 67.79 opening right there? Everybody see that? I'd write that number down. That number is going to be real important to you, because until you get above that number, whatever happens from here is lower highs, okay? To the downside, we got 62. We're currently about 50, so we're below RB3 solidly right now, RB3. On the NASDAQ, let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's got a pivot number of 225,188. And the NASDAQ right now, Jonathan, about 100 points below. What is the low? 25, what is that low? I can't read it. 250?
015, yep.
Yeah, 015. So it's 2536. So the NASDAQ, as we go into Genesis, is down here at the lows. Now, let's go to, if we will, I'll show them the thinking. Go to a compass chart. Romy, you had a question about charts. Here's how I use the compass charts. He's going to bring up the compass charts here.
You want the NASDAQ or the E-mini?
E-mini, let's start with E-mini.
Okay, that's what we're looking at.
Okay, yeah. And we opened on 11:30 at what time and what price?
67.50, 11:30 Eastern.
Okay, 67.50. So here's a question. And this is what we're about to find out. Do we think, this is a question, general question I ask myself every day at this time. You ought to write this question down. Is the market making a low or a high during this time period? In general, what is it doing? Talking about today's action. Making a low. It's making a low. Then here's where odds come in. 4 out of 5 times between now and 12:30, if it makes a low, it tracks back up. Your first resistance is the low of RB3. There's 3 numbers you got to know. RB3. Your first resistance will be the low of RB3. Your second resistance will be the midpoint of RB3. And a totally bullish read will be the high of RB3. And what was the high of RB3 today?
So those 3 numbers are 61, 71, and 81. The high is 81.
So there, that analyzes you at this time of day resistance. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use that. Let's assume that 81 will never go higher than 81 today. Okay, this is an assumption. Go to the money maker.
All right, 81 on the buy side here.
Yep, put 81 to the buy side.
There we go.
Now, does everybody see 67.26 on the SPX? If I sold the 25.30 call on the SPX, I wouldn't get but a nickel. So the market's saying, we're not going to go up that high. Does everybody see how to interpret the options, what the options are telling us? All right, let's change the money maker to 71. Go to 71. Okay, SPX changes to 18. A 2025 call, still paying a nickel. So it's telling us not going to make it to 21.
Hang on, Tom. I'm getting different values than you are. Are you looking at the SPX?
What do you got?
I'm looking at the SPX for
Yeah,
today's
18. I just 2025. I'm just looking at 2025. Do we have different option
Yeah.
values?
Yeah, I'm getting something different here. I'll tell you that for the
Here, let me go back.
25.
Let me go back and look. Okay, the 2025, hold it. Okay, yeah, never mind. I was reading it wrong. You got 75 cents there.
Yeah, and if we go back to the original, just out of curiosity here,
81, yeah.
that was the 67.26. I think you were doing the 25.30, right?
Yeah, I think I messed up. But anyway, let's go back through it and make sure everybody got it because it's confused. If the S&P 81 is a big number, SPX is 67.26, therefore it shouldn't get above, go back to money maker. It shouldn't get above on the SPX 67.26. So a 25.30 call right now, 25.30 call, you'd make 40 cents. Okay. If you sold that right this second. Okay. That's a pretty good bet, wouldn't you think? Does everybody see how to do this? What I'm doing? The point I'm making? Okay. Does everybody see? We went to 81. That's the best one. 71. If you took out a low, Lynette, then you would drop down to 71, right? Because 71 is the next number, right? All this came from Genesis. Go back to the chart and show them where you got the three numbers where you don't lose anybody. Not that complex. Go back to it. What was RB3's high, midpoint? Question is, you ought to type this in there, somebody. What was RB3's high, midpoint, and low? I'm trying to show you how to make a bunch of money. So bear with me. This is very valuable, what I'm doing. High was 81, midpoint you said was 71, and the low is 61. That's the three numbers. You just made a new low, which tells you that what does it tell you? All I'm trying to do is show you how to make money, okay? Because the low of the day, let me give it to you, E-mini is 67.41. So this time frame ends up being the low, then you can expect it to trade back up to 61 and 71. I think 81 is out of possibilities. It'd take a total reversal to get there, Jonathan.
Yes, it would. Yep, that'd be.
How about, is everybody following my thinking here, what I'm showing with this tool, how valuable it is? Let's go back and summarize. Genesis sets the low or high, how many times? 4 out of 5 days. So what do you do with it if you know it's a low? Well, you got to know how high you think it's going to go and where resistance is going to be. It's going to be at the low point of RB3, the midpoint of RB3, or the high of RB3. That alone is worth tens of thousands of dollars to you if you learn how to use what I just said. Okay? Now, what would tell us it's the low is the next question I would ask. If the low of Genesis ends up being the low of the day, the next question, how would you know it's the low of the day? What's that bar next to Genesis? The bar leading into Genesis.
The prior bar has a high of 67.55.
Which was my pivot number today. So if you go above the pivot number, you're going to find out that that 41 is the low of the day, and the market's going to trade from the low of 41 up to 71, probably, would be my guess, Jonathan.
Okay.
Based on what I know right now, if this ends up being the low. Now, one other possibility. Here's the other possibility. This is a continuation day, which happens 1 out of 5. If it breaks the low and this not ends up being a continuation day, where would your next stop be? It's very simple. It would go to 67.25, which is the monthly open. You can make some money on that trade. Make money on both these things. That's why I tell people, always look at those last 2 bars when you're trying to decide. Bar coming into the key bar, which is the Genesis bar. And the bar after that makes Genesis the anchor bar. Now, this might be some of the most valuable stuff that's ever come out of my mouth in the last 10 minutes. If they understand, they ought to listen to it, listen to this and learn it.
Yeah, I agree. And review the YouTube video as many times as you need to. We're about to go rehash it, all of it as well. So you get a built-in review.
Any questions before I go back to my slides? This ought to get you excited, Carol, because you're going to find other ways to make money, what I just said.
Well, Tom, that's the topic of today's focus, how the Genesis hour can trigger reversal and continuation days.
I just did it, didn't I?
You sure did. So let's review here. Genesis is what we're talking about. Now, Genesis hour is Tom's top insight, probably, at least of recent note, especially for trading intraday. All right. And what it is, it's a unique look in the markets midday. All right. Everybody can read the slide, but it happens at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's when the European markets close down for the day. What does that mean? It leaves the US market and traders kind of in full control of where they want to take the market. And that's the foundation, I guess, if you will, that leads to the reversal or continuation days. All right, reversal. And as Tom said, about 4 out of 5 days, we've witnessed the Genesis hour market either the high or the low. That's exactly why he took you through that. If I go back to the chart, this white reference bar here we call Genesis. Again, it takes place at 11:30. We're looking at 30-minute bars, so it's from 11:30 to 12 Eastern time. Tom just walked you through. Now, if we know that 4 out of 5 days, the Genesis hour can mark the high or the low for the day, we're thinking that maybe it's going to mark the low here. But we're not going to just go ahead and trade off that. I'm going to have some confirmation there. And Tom pointed us to the prior bar, which has a high of 67.55. And we would want to see the market go above 67.55. And if you keep things really simple, so far, if you look at the blue bar here up until now, what have we had? We've had a series of lower highs and lower lows. The only way to see a reversal, and if this is going to be 4 out of the 5 days that Genesis does mark a high or a low in this case, we would need to see that series of lower highs and lower lows change into higher highs and higher lows. And the first indication that might happen is if we go back above 67.55, which works out really well because that was Tom's pivot today. And we know how important Tom's pivot today, or pivot is. I know, Chuck, you answered it earlier for a question, how do we use the pivot? Well, the pivot is if we're above 67.55 in this case, we'll be thinking to the long side as our bias. If we're below 67.55, we'll be thinking to the short side as our bias. And that's step one. That's step one of our bias. Again, that's not your initiative to go trade. It's, are we thinking the higher odds are to the long side, or are we thinking the higher odds are to the short side? So if we can get back above 67.55, that's going to start to tilt the odds more in the favor of the bulls. And we know the value of Genesis hour and all this education insights that Tom is teaching us. Hopefully it's starting to all add up and make sense. All right. Does anyone have any questions? John, I'm in Central Time, where we speak in Eastern Time. All right. Any questions on what the Genesis hour is? It's, a lot of you have this. Some of you may not. We want to know who doesn't have it because it is that important of an insight. Right, Lynette. It's every single day. European markets close down at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time every single day.
So, Jonathan, I just thought I'd chime in here, and Tom, feel free to jump up. What is the importance of the European cash market close? I mean, aren't we just focused on American markets? Throw you that softball. You guys hit it out of the park.
Chuck, I think Tom's preoccupied here, but why don't you answer that for everybody?
Right. So we are in a global economy. We do understand that. So what happens in Asia, what happens in Europe, it's going to affect what happens in the US. So when that European cash market closes, now we have futures markets that continue on, but it is a game-changing shift. Now, later this evening, we'll be shifting away from the US cash markets and a few hours later opening up the Asian cash market. So Asia has an influence at night. Basically, where the sun's shining, that's where the influence is. Our early morning, when our cash markets open up, we also have the European markets. The sun is still shining on Europe while it starts to shine over here on the US. So as those markets are closing, it is a shift in mentality. It is a shift in market dynamics. We move from a European control to a kind of combo US and European to now the European market is off. So we get to see how the US market is framing without Europe included. Of course, there's still going to be traders, but that sunshine is moving away from Europe. It's starting to get towards the evening. Everybody's going home for a little siesta. So that is the importance of the Genesis. It is a dynamic shift in the way that the global economy is looking at the markets.
It's a powerful time during the day. And if you integrate it into your thinking, then there's a lot to learn. Okay? So we assume everybody got the question right. It looks like the market's trying to mark a low here at this time of day. We don't know for sure, do we? Because it's got to take out, we said 55 to the upside to know that we got a low. If it turns and takes out the Genesis low, you look at the roadmap, it goes into a sell signal, which means it's continuation down, and we'll probably go down and test to 67.25, which tells me if that happens, if you got any positions that would get in trouble, you probably ought to close them out. That's what it tells me. All right, Jonathan, what else we got?
Now, we got, of course, the other side of the, well, you just mentioned 20% of the time there's a continuation day. So today, that would be if the market goes down to the new lows, right? Makes
Yeah,
new
and
lows.
see, yesterday we had a continuation up day, which was a huge day. We were able to close out three big trades to kick off October because of that continuation day. In fact, it continued through the night into the first reference bar this morning. That's where it stopped. All these reference bars, the most valuable thing I think I've done in my career is put together the 24-hour market and the reference bars around. That way, anybody, anywhere can use what I teach. You don't have to worry about moving average. Do I ever talk about moving averages? No. Do I ever talk about relative strength? No. Do I ever talk about MACD? No. I'm an expert in all that stuff. Why don't I talk about it? Because it's not going to help you make money. Our goal is to make money. How many people agree our goal is to make money? We don't have to be the smartest person about the market. All we have to do is get the question right, long, short, or out. And we're going to get it right if you learn what I teach you. And you don't have to go through that emotional, oh, anybody ever been in a trade that just kills you and kills your account and you can't get out and you're frozen? Has anybody ever been in that type situation, a trade go, oh man, this trade is, you know? That's why if you get a trade that's not performing correctly, I got a lot of rules, like for options, 72 hours. That's why we spend so much time making sure you understand this, because you're going to do a lot. Look, if I do 20% on a trade and you got time to watch this, okay? You're going to do a lot better than my 20% or whatever Jonathan reports. All I'm trying to do is get you on the right side. And you're having to pay me for that. And I might add, sounds like a lot of money, but it's not if you use what I tell you. All right.
All right, here's that continuation day from yesterday. The Genesis hour is circled. You can see it did not make a top. It went above the Genesis hour high and led to our continuation day. Anybody have questions on that? Pretty clear, right? Yep. Yep. Yep.
I think it's real clear.
Yep. Now this was a reversal day. You can see how it found a bottom and reversed back up. Everybody see that? These days are more common. So let's go back to the live market. We got about 6 minutes until the Genesis reference bar forms. What do we know so far? We know if we just focus in on the Genesis bar, that bar opened at 67.50, went down to 67.41, and has a high of 54, and we're currently trading 53.5. Are we, as we come into the last 5 minutes of the bar, are we trading in the upper half or the lower half of this current reference bar? Are we trading in the upper third, the middle third, or the lower third of this 30-minute reference bar we call Genesis? All right, we're trading in the upper. That's right. Now, everybody type in Tom's pivot today, which happens to be the high of the prior bar that we're watching. Everybody, let's see if you're paying attention. What's the number of Tom's pivot? That's right, 67.55. And I'll draw a line there to reference that high point of the prior bar, which is Tom's pivot. All right, it's 11:55 Eastern. We're at 67.55. So the odds are starting to, we don't know for sure, but the odds are certainly looking like we might be forming a low here for the day. And again, we're not certain, but we know what to look for at this hour, the Genesis hour. All right, we just walked through that. Continuation 20% of the time, reversal 4 out of 5, 80% of the time. Those are rough numbers. We know why it's important. Chuck stepped in and gave you several reasons why it's important. Kind of build that foundation, that knowledge. Does everybody see why when we first go and start these sessions, Tom always says, and we have a slide that says, at DTI, we help you master the markets through education, through training, and through experience. We're here to educate you. We're here to train you for train and trade. And Tom gives us a whole lot of experience. Romy's starting to get it. Okay, good.
All right, we said 61 would be the first resistance, then 71, right? If this ends up being the low of the day.
That's right. 61 didn't come out of nowhere. It came from the reference bar 3, this blue bar. 61 was the low of that reference bar.
Midpoint of that bar is 71, and the high of that bar is 81. Made it simple to remember.
Yep, sure did.
Folks, you got to be saying to yourself, okay, how in the world can you do this kind of stuff from a trading? And you do it piece by piece, step by step, by learning this 24-hour market. Then you get into the swing, and then you just follow. Then you're not going to be right. Let me tell you, Jonathan, are we 28 or 29 on one ticker? I want to ask that again. 29.
Yeah, 29 after this morning. Yep.
And that doesn't say the 30th trade won't be wrong, but look at those percentages, 29 in a row. Goodness. Give me some of that. All right. I want to cover a small, remember we talked about covering a small price option, Jonathan, on the QQQ?
Yeah, and I've got to, let me go to the slide here.
Okay.
It's all right. It should be seeing it right about now, I think.
Okay, this is a trade that will work to the call side when the low's in place. Let me talk about this trade. You find an option about 7 days out, 50 to 60 cents. You set a stop, 8 cents below and 8 cents above. Our goal is to be higher than 50% on this trade to make money. This time of day, this is a go-to trade for people that like to make money. This is a trade I do quite often. Yesterday I was walking and I did this trade. So I need to teach this today. So I just want to show any questions about the setup. The setup is you think call if you've seen the low, you think put if you've seen the high. Simple setup, right? Then go back to the compass chart again. We think the low's in place. So we'd be thinking call. Everybody see where I'd get the call? Say yes, Tom, I see it. Okay. Now, let's go to a live option chain, take a look.
All right,
7 days out.
I'll take it to Tasty Trade first. 7 days out, QQQ. 7 days out is October 9th.
Mm-hmm.
A call option between 50 and 60 is a 618. And on Tasty Trade, once you call up a buy order for that, there's a little button that says bracket at the left. And so let's just make it easier. Let's the left portion is your initial entry. Let's just lock it in at say 55 cents. And over here to the right is where you can set your target and stop. So what's 55 cents plus 8? 63, right?
Mm-hmm.
55 cents minus 8 is 47. I'm going the wrong way. There you go. That's kind of how it would set up for your bracket order on Tasty Trade.
Okay, and here's another little rule. You want to wait to 10 minutes after 12. That's when the zone of this trade is open. 10 minutes after 12. So we're 9 minutes after 12, or 1 minute after trade, or that, excuse me, we're 1 minute after, okay? So what I do, I watch the compass chart. Go to the compass chart. I got my trade in my pocket. I watch the compass chart on the roadmap, and the only thing it's missing is 10 after 10 and the price above Genesis, which is 55, right?
It's the Genesis bar high is actually 58. 58.
Yeah. All right, 58. That's where you got to be higher. But anyway, I think doing this and letting you see it is really where it sinks in, because I've traded, I guess let's put it this way. I've traded just about every hour around the clock over the years. And a very lucrative time to trade is from 12 to 1 after Genesis. Very lucrative. Because it tends to be enough room in there if you get the trend.
Yeah,
So
great. Yep.
if you don't want to stare at the screen, you'd set an alert at 58.5 to the upside. That way you would have to, that way you would have to stare at the screen.
Getting a lot of good feedback, Tom, in the chat saying, yeah, I'm starting to see it. Very helpful to see how you set it up. Yeah, awesome. Great feedback.
Yep. I don't understand Lynette's question.
Yeah, Lynette, you say, why not till 4 p.m.? I'm not sure what you're referring to there either. Hey, type in yes in the chat if you learned something today. I think that'll give us a lot of feedback. Chat's been a little quiet this morning, but there we go. Lots of yeses. Okay, perfect. A big yes from Charles. Thank you, Charles. Yep. Absolutely.
Here's a
Yes.
question I got for you. Can you believe that we don't have 1,000 people in here with this kind of information? It's free.
It is free. SP says, I'm quiet because I'm processing a lot of information here. Yeah. That Tom was right when he said,
Hey, there's people out there spending thousands of dollars now, and I'm giving this away for free.
yep, it is crazy.
That's crazy to me.
But y'all are here, so
Hey, and they make one trade out of 10,
tell your friends. This is good stuff, Tom. I enjoy being here with you.
Yeah, thank you, John. I appreciate that, because this is a lot of good stuff.
And hopefully it's starting to become clear. When the picture becomes clearer, you're gonna trade better. That's what the goal is. All right. Yeah. Pete says I'm reevaluating the lunchtime hour and Genesis hour and some more trade opportunities. Absolutely.
All right, let me teach you another thing. I told you the window open at 10 after. What time is it right now?
It's 11:05.
11:05. So here's what happens. Okay. What happens is I don't sit here and stare at this thing hoping. I just set an alert and look at it. This is another key. Write these times down. 10 after 12, I look at it. If it's real clear to me, I take a trade. I look at it again at 12:30. If it's clear to me, I take a trade. I look at it again at 1 o'clock. I'm not sitting there staring at the machine. And so I'm looking at it now and I'm saying to myself, well, it's not exactly clear right now, is it? My desktop says his account's growing because he's listening and paying attention. That's what my whole goal is being here, my desktop.
Yeah, that's Mark. Thanks, Mark. I remember from the other day we asked you who you were. And Mark says it's working. The education we're bringing to Mark is working for him. Perfect, Mark. Thank you. All right. Now we've been looking at roadmap all day. Tom, you want to get to the rest of the
Yeah, let's go to the rest of the presentation and let everybody digest everything we did.
Yep. And just a reminder, The recording, I'll post it in the chat in a moment. The recording is on YouTube. That's dtitrader.com/YouTube. And when you get to the YouTube page, there's a tab that says live. All right, we're live right now, but anything that's live, the recording goes to the live tab. That's dtitrader.com/YouTube, and I'll post it in that chat in just a minute. But for now, Tom, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. I already said this, we're entering the best season of trading. It's already been incredible. We're 3-0. Hopefully we can extend that to about 30-0 or 30-5, something like that. "40 years of trading." I put this out there to show you and give you confidence. If you take the time and learn, it's well worth your time. You've seen that before, 93. I'm not going to read it, John. Go to the summary and let him see the summary of our action. That doesn't include the last 3 we did, right?
No, it doesn't. That's May through September, 88% accuracy.
So we're really, right now, we're 192 with 3 new victories in there to 21 losers, okay? I just want to try to keep up. So our accuracy rate might be a little bit higher than 88 now.
Might be 89 or 90.
Might be, make 89. There's October. All right. You see why I'm very disciplined when I take trades. Now, one of the top programs is the one ticker, 29. There shouldn't be you got 2 choices on the one ticker, be a gold member or be a member of one ticker. You can't miss this program. This is 29 wins in a row. It's called the one ticker program. One ticker, keep it simple. If you'd like to join me, sign up for $1,000. We just made one of our October trades with the one ticker. I'll be doing it again. Pretty simple, straightforward. About 2 steps to make it happen. I'm monitoring this market all the time to QQQ. Okay? You'll get an email notification, you get a text message. We let you know if I make this trade. You got time to make it. This is not a day trade, it's an overnight trade. Look at the math and the money. If you're here for money, you got to be in the one ticker. Small accounts work because it's not day trading. $100 yesterday's trade, or 95 cents, I think we paid for it, something like that. Got a whole option course for people that are new. Now, this is something I didn't have before years ago. Oh, Todd here, 15 years, I didn't have anything like this, but new people can get a free options course all the way from getting started to getting finished on the right things to learn about options, not a bunch of stuff generated by Wall Street. The QQQ, got to learn about it. Got to learn about it. You can join the one ticker program for 1 month for just $97. Adam, let's don't do that anymore. Any program's got 29 trades in a row. We don't need a trial like this. $97. Take advantage of that if you want to, but I'd take the membership price they're offering. Call 904-706-3532. I think if you sign up, they'll give you a year. I think
Yeah,
so.
once you sign up, Tom, it offers you a year and then VIP as well. So
Okay. So you got it all there. One ticker. And you're gonna play a tape with the full blown thing, right?
Yep, we sure are, Tom. I can start that in.
I do my executive summary for those people that like me. If I see something like this, I'm clicking that button. I'm clicking that button. All right, let's play the tape. Thank you for a great train and trade. I enjoyed it. Day is, what's the day? Thursday? I'm coming back today, I think at 3:30, right, Jonathan? Finish up today with SPX.
It sounds good to me. 3:30 SPX.
And if you're in SPX, stay alert. I'm looking to do a trade, a premium capture trade. Once I get it, we're still in the stay out zone right now because we can't break above Genesis and we can't break below it. So I'm still in the stay out zone right now. All right, let's play it. Thanks, Gwen, for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, you want to get started?
Let's do it.
All right, guys, if you guys have any questions during the presentation, put them in the chat. We will have Q&A towards the end. And before we begin, the profits and performance shown are not typical. We make no future earnings claims. You may lose money. It's part of the gig. The majority of the trades expressed are from historical backtested data in order to demonstrate the potential of the system. The average backtested return per weekend, winners and losers included, was 10.9% per overnight trade, and the average winner was $1,312 per trade based on a $5,000 investment. Now, every example we're going to show you here today is based on that same starting investment of $5,000, unless we state otherwise. Now, the historic success rate is 84.3%. We cannot guarantee any specific future results, like I mentioned, but of course, there's always a high degree of risk involved in trading. You can see more on our terms on the DTI homepage for more information. Now, if we haven't met before, hello everyone. My name is Sarah Sananen. Now, please pay very close attention today. Now, as you guys saw on the opening slide, thanks to a little known move by one exchange operator, a door has been opened for us to collect overnight payouts on one specific ticker. And no, I'm not talking about earning pennies on the dollars here. I'm talking about one ticker that has shown the power to take even a small 5K investment and pay out the likes of $1,093, $1,351, and even $2,096, all overnight. Now, of course, I know, and you know, that no strategy wins all the time. There's no such thing as a magic pill. If you find one, let me know. But it cannot generate instant income. But according to my special guest here, the trading legend, Tom Busby, the man who in 1992 was one of only 50 professionals to be handpicked by the CME to receive his very own Globex terminal. Now, to be honest with you guys, I have no idea what that is. I wasn't even born.
Well, what it was the forerunner to electronic trading. And there were 50 of it out of Chicago that actually they gave out to people. And I was very fortunate to get one that's got me into the 24-hour market. So it was pretty neat honor to have one. So, and quite an advantage also, I might add.
Sounds like it. Now, then you went on to play a key role in a firm managed so successfully that it got bought out by the 1.3 trillion bank Morgan Stanley. Now, these overnight payouts from this one ticker we're talking about has shown an incredible 84.3% accuracy on nearly a full year's worth of market data. And to give you a better idea, that's better than winning 4 out of 5 trades, right? And now that he's fine-tuned his strategy, sorry, my dog wants to be a part of the presentation, his strategy with this one ticker, he's been on a mission unlike anything he's ever done before. It's a brand new nationwide initiative he's called the One Ticker Payout Program. It's pretty straightforward, right? Now, his goals are simple, and he's aiming to bring on 100 new people, so it could be 100 of you guys. Now, we have more than 100 people here, so pay very close attention, like I mentioned. And he's going to show you how to use this one ticker to target an extra 1,000 or more overnight, over and over again. Right here, we have November, it's like the credits at the end of a movie. So if you are looking for a way to maybe help generate some extra cash to cover some everyday expenses, or you just want, a little bit more to add to that retirement fund, then the one ticker payout program may be the right fit for you.
That's right, Sarah. Today, we want to simplify the investment process. I want to take a group of regular folks, whether you've been professionally trading since the 80s like I have, or just getting started, old or new, and show you how straightforward it can be to target these one ticker payouts day after day. You see, most people think you need to follow a handful of stocks, monitor their every move, but I'm here to tell you that you're far better off throwing away 2,384 of the 2,385 tickers out there and focusing on that one and only ticker. Knowing if everything goes as planned, the single ticker has shown the power to pay out $1,000 or more overnight. Just like you could have seen last October. Like someone put 5,000 up, that's the amount we're referring to in every example today. Now think about this. Keep in mind that October is one of the worst months for the stock market. If you left your money in the popular indexes, well, it wouldn't have looked very pretty. However, look at that, that's how much you would have lost if you just sort of scattered the way Wall Street wants you to. However, the same investment stake in a one ticker payout program could have seen a much different result. Hitting 5 separate overnight payouts for the month of October, $958, $823, $2,096, $1,351, and $1,283. It's consistent and it works because it takes a process in place that makes it take advantage of the market. Now, to be clear, there's one in there that wouldn't have worked out. But if you'd follow along with the one ticker payout program, you could have gone 5 for 6 and walked away with an extra $4,371 in your pocket for the month.
Now, Tom, I don't know about you, but an extra $4,300 coming in the door sounds pretty great to me. I mean, I like money, to put it quite plainly. That's a meaningful chunk of change. I mean, think about it. It seems like every month credit card balances keep hitting new highs, right? Leaving a lot of people without enough money to cover simple 500 emergency expenses, right? But if they were following these overnight trades with the one ticker payout program, they could have made enough to stash $3,000 into that emergency fund, right? Book a round of golf for you and 3 of your best friends at a local course, cover the dinner tab for once, when you go out with your friends, and still have a few $100 left over in the slush fund. Now, keep in mind, for those of you watching, that could have happened while most folks invest in the stock market back in October were watching their portfolios drop in value. So, Tom, what is this one ticker, and how could those of us tuning in today help target overnight payouts worth that $1,000 or more that you're talking about?
Sir, first let me say this. It's absolutely horrible what happened to our great nation. Thanks to inflation, we're watched as our retirement account savings have gone backward in recent years. Expenses kept going up, forcing millions of people to delay their retirements 5, 10, or even 15 years. It gets worse. You see, most people think that once inflation cools, then the cost of living comes down and life returns back to normal. But what a lot of folks don't realize, that it's not how inflation works. Think about it. Do you remember when the price of a cheeseburger was 65 cents? That shouldn't shock anyone, but you will never see that price again. That's because with inflation, prices only go up. So even when the rate of inflation comes back down to the cost of living, things don't get cheaper. The cheeseburger doesn't come back to 65 cents. Prices normalize at that new higher cost. So even when inflation stabilizes, you still need more money in the piggy bank to cover the new normalized cost of living. And that's why it's so critical for us to meet today and talk about it. I want to do everything I possibly can to help as many people as possible generate some extra cash on the side, Now, most people I work with think that making money has to be complicated or time consuming, that you have to wait years to get a payout. But the truth is, it takes a few minutes of your time to learn this process to put the one ticker payout program into action. And by following along, I've been able to show dozens of folks the exact method targeting an extra $1,000 or more overnight from this ticker. I call the method behind the one ticker payout program the 2-click trade. That's because just after 2 clicks, you can set yourself up to target the next $1,000 overnight payout from this one ticker. For example, let's take a look at what happened the very next month in November after a great October. Now, I have to admit, unlike October, in November, the stock market was red hot. S&P 500, bonds, gold, Bitcoin, everything was headed high. And the rally was fueled by top stocks like Apple and Microsoft, both of which gained around 10% for the month. 5,000 invested of those would have yielded about $580 for the month. But if you'd used the 2-click trade, the one with the special ticker I'm talking about, you could have done so much better. And again, after hitting 5 major payouts for the month of November, 1,093, 1111, 1780, 1179, and 1271, compare that to the 500, you see where we're going. Similar to October, there was one trade that wouldn't have worked out in our favor, but all in all, you would have scored an overnight payout of 5 out of the 6 opportunities and walked away with an extra $2,130 in cash for the month of November. Starts adding up.
Yeah, right. And
Right.
that means that the 2-click trade would have earned folks 4 times what top stocks like Apple or Amazon did. Now, 580 or 2130 for the month, which would you guys prefer? Go ahead and put that in the chat, even though the answer is obvious. Now, what some folks may have missed is that your 2-click trade seemed to work on this one ticker regardless if the markets were heading lower in October or if the markets were hot like in November. Either way, folks could have locked in roughly 3,000 in payouts for each month. Is that right?
That's right. It's binary. It doesn't matter what the market does. You can set it up to make money whether it goes up or goes down. And that's right on par with the results we've seen so far with the data. In fact, since the inception of our study, the one ticker payout program has shown the power to pay out an average of 3,000 each month, including all the wins and all the losses. And that's the power of these overnight payouts, stacking up one trade at a time. And there's a reason I chose to focus on this one ticker and one ticker only. You see, there are 2 common beliefs among some of the top money managers when it comes to investing. There's one who say that you should diversify into a basket of stocks, helping lowering the risk on your portfolio. I know y'all have heard that. Then there's, on the other end of the spectrum, guys like Buffett who call owning a basket of stocks not good, saying holding 10, 20 or more stocks actually hurts your portfolio because you're not able to keep detailed tabs on all of them at once. And then that you should instead only focus on one ticker at a time. But I must beg the question, what if you get the best of both worlds at the same time? Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, get my apple and eat it too.
That's right. What if you were to get the stability of diversification while at the same time getting the explosive upside of a single stock picking simultaneously? Well, that's exactly what this one ticker allows you to do. It bottles up all the firepower of the top stocks like the Apples, the Amazons, the Microsofts, while evenly spreading out the risk over time. You don't need to worry about earnings, hits or misses, CEO getting fired, or negative headlines. And with the 2-click trade, we're now able to target overnight earnings from this one ticker. Well, the stock market is closed, but most folks aren't earning a dime. Like in May, one of the best months so far from the data. Here's what the S&P looked like back then. 0.25% gain for the month. Your returns wouldn't have kept up with inflation. But with the 2-click trade on this one ticker, it could have been like night and day, going 5 for 5 with the 1 ticker payout program. 1,846, that ought to get your attention. How about another 882? 714, $2,089, $1,118. That adds up.
It does indeed. So Tom, what you're saying is while the S&P 500 only gained a measly quarter in May, folks following along with the 2-click trade that you're talking about could have made more or doubled their initial investment. That's 133 earning in the same time frame. Now with the 2-click trade, you could have collected 6,650 for the month of May if you added everything up. And that's enough to nearly pay off the average credit card balance if you have one without needing to pick up an extra job or to work the night shift. And all of it would have taken about 15 minutes in total time. And it seems like an excellent trade-off for me, especially without having to spend extra time. So Tom, why don't you tell us what is this special ticker?
I'll give you the exact ticker and all the details behind the 2-click trade in a few minutes, but hang in there. Of course, I want to remind you that no strategy wins all the time, and you should never risk more than you can afford to lose. Luckily, the average cost per trade with the 1-ticker program is less than $100. And that's how I designed it. So it doesn't matter if you consider yourself rich or poor, anyone here today can get started. The ticker is the most basic way for anyone with a regular brokerage account to invest in some of the most high-powered stocks in the world at the same time. Getting a taste of Apple, Microsoft, and many, many more. All at the same time. That's why this ticker has been able not just to beat, but absolutely demolish the returns of all major indexes. In fact, over the last 20 years, Dow Jones has returned 349%. The Dow Jones has returned 349. The Russell has returned 397, and S&P has returned 450. Yet this 1-ticker has done more than the return of all three combined. If you haven't guessed it yet, the ticker is QQQ. QQQ gives us access to the NASDAQ 100, which shows a diversified basket of some of the most explosive stocks in the world, like Apple, Tesla, and so forth. But there's something really unique about this ticker that allows us to target $1,000 or more from each trade, specifically overnight. Most people have no clue what to do with this, but you don't actually own the ticker during the day. Let me show you what I mean. Take a close look at this chart. The returns on the QQQ from 1999 to 2023. What you're looking at is the return of only owning the QQQ during the day. But buying at the market open and selling at the close versus if you'd bought at 4 p.m. and sold the following morning, 539%, only holding it overnight. And as you can clearly see, money in this 1 ticker has been made in the overnight hours as the world opens up and trades. In fact, investing during the day would have actually lost you money. And it's little known occurrence in the QQQ that allow us to target overnight payouts over and over again. All you need to do is set the 2-click trade as close to 4 p.m. closing bell as possible, and then exit the trade the next morning when the stock market opens up again. Just like the first 3 that hit in March. Here's a look at the chart of the QQQ. And here's a look at the overnight 1-ticker payouts you could have just hit in the first week using the 2-click trade. 1139, March 3rd, 1329 on March 6th, 1370 on March the 7th.
That's remarkable, Tom. I mean, in 1 week, we could have earned an extra $3,800 in payouts. Now, where I live, the average mortgage payment sits around $1,500 each month or so. That means, well, Yeah. That means just after 1 week, I was trying to do the math in my head real quick. With the one ticker payout program, folks could have paid 2 months on the average mortgage in advance and still had $839 left over to be, if we're being exact with the numbers. Now, I can only imagine not having to worry about mortgage payments for 3 more months, and that would definitely be a stress reliever on me.
Sarah, that's why I got excited to meet with you today to talk about this with other people, because I want you to be on the front lines trying to help solve this unspoken financial crisis in America. We're going to generate money, and I believe that the two-click trade behind the one ticker payout program could be the key to helping folks gain a leg up, even in a bad economy. It's all done by just focusing on one ticker and only one. You just have to set your trade right before the market's closed for the day, and if it all works out, cash out the next morning. Just like with the next 3 payouts that hit in March. March 10th, $1,000. March 16th, 1506. March 20th, 348.
That's really something. And I see Zoom users saying, well, not in California. Maybe it can help you pay a little bit of it. Now, if someone could have done that, they could have just seen 2,800 in payouts just after 3 trades. And you're not helping just help with the retirement crisis in America. You're helping cure the everyday stress because a little bit of money, extra money, we can all use some, right? I haven't met someone who says, I don't want extra money. I haven't met anyone like
It's heard
that.
on TV. One thing that's very unique to Americans, they keep spending.
I'm one of them.
Yeah. Whether you're
Now,
young or old.
exactly. Now, I'm starting to see how this could legitimately make an actual impact for anyone who takes part in the one ticker payout program starting today. So let me make sure I have this straight. I like to make sure I have my facts before I go all in. Owning the QQQ during the day is no good. It's basically a coin flip if you'll make money or not. But buying the close and selling the open has been the hidden gold mine on this one ticker for decades, right? Now,
Absolutely.
Tom, that leaves me wondering, if it's been this way for years, why isn't everyone already doing this?
Well, frankly, if you want to take advantage of this overnight occurrence on the underlying stock, you can. But the results would be about 1/20th the size of what I've been showing you today. For most people, that's just not worth their time. That's why no one has probably heard about this before. But the Chicago Board of Options Exchange made a small tweak on the QQQ, which opened the doors to these one ticker payouts over and over again. Let me explain. In order to see the type of results from a two-click trade, you have to use options, but not just any form of options. You see, most tickers out there have options that expire on Friday of each week. They're called weekly options. Now, the QQQ only had weekly options, and the two-click trade wouldn't even work. But luckily, as late of last year, QQQ is now one of only 4 tickers in the world which we call daily options. And you might have guessed these options expire every single day of the week. It's these daily options that have opened the door for these overnight payouts I've been showing people. You just have to place the two-click trade as close to the end of the day as possible, knowing that QQQ has a good chance of going higher and handing us the next overnight payout. Like the next few one-ticker payouts you could have seen in March, 1133 overnight, 2419 overnight, 1250 overnight, 1484 overnight. Are y'all starting to get the pattern here, folks?
Yeah.
And today I want to show you how to set up your first one tick or two-click trade. All you need to get started is a standard brokerage account, nothing fancy. It's even 401k and IRA friendly, at least $500 to start with. That's less than 100 for the average entry. 2 minutes maximum each day. After a few trades, it'd be easy as cake. I don't know, eating cake or making cake. And that's it.
I will say eating cake's much easier than making it.
Yeah. That's why I've been holding a very special live class to show exactly how you can start targeting these consistent payouts with the QQQ. It includes full details how to place your first trade, how to upgrade your account for these options, and how to manage your risk so you can start using this technique in your account today. Let me invite folks out there to join me for free today. Once you get your hands on this, you'll be fully equipped to put the two-click trade in action, target the next overnight payout worth $1,000 or more this very week. Just like with the next three payouts you could have seen on April 4th, $1,834, $1,097, $1,267. Now you may notice that I don't trade this every day. Here's the secret. That's because I only find a way to enter on the highest probability days, the ones that are most likely to pay out. That's what you're paying for. Normally, we get about one or two of those opportunities each week.
And Tom, by looking at the live trade alert results from your one ticker payout program, it looks like the results are off the chart, right? You have an 81.8 accuracy rate, and that's better than 8 out of 10 trades. Now you have 18.4% average winner across about 50 or more live trade alerts, and then you have $920 average winning payout. Even though we've seen 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 900's been about the average, right? And that's all overnight based on a 5,000 initial investment.
Right.
Now that's not even the best part from what I've heard. The one ticker payout program has shown the power to pay out an average of 3,000 each month for anyone who's been following along.
It's pretty extraordinary, really.
Yeah.
I think. And Sarah, to test the effectiveness of this one ticker payout program, we've been sharing this with some of the opportunities with some of our top students. Here's what they had to say. This is the real test when you hear this. Convey my thanks to Tom for this morning's great trade on QQQ. Total profit of $525. Great end of week in the green. Nancy said last Friday made 1606 net gain. Had a lot of fun live trading. Or Denise, $400 profit. Started with 2,000, not bad. She's got a small account, that's okay. These are not day trades, these are overnight trades. Look at Eddie, 100% success rate on 4 trades. 100% return on recycled money in a week. Now, I want to hear more from you next, but you got to take the opportunity. That's why I want to grant you access to this live workshop so you can start implementing the unique 2-click trade in your own account. You can lock in your spot, and by subscribing to our nationwide initiative, the one ticker payout program. Now, we're hoping to bring in about 100 new people and show them how straightforward it can be to target an extra $1,000 or more overnight. All by leveraging the 2-click trade on this one ticker. Now, if you're one of the few to get in on it today, you're not going to be left out finding these opportunities all by yourself. Each day the market's open, I'll be monitoring the QQQ for you. And if I see an opportunity for the high probability one ticker payout, I'll alert you immediately. You'll get an email notification, text message, and telegram. Inside, you'll see the exact details on how to place the 2-click trade before the market's closed for the day. If it works out as planned, we can wake up to a great overnight payday for the QQQ like you could have seen many times throughout the year. Hey, 723 on June 13th. 1,049 on September the 21st. 1,780 on November the 20th. And never leave you hanging. Never do that. I'll let you know the optimum time to exit.
And Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but since we always place the trade just before the market closes, it's not like we have to be around watching the computers all day. I've day traded. I know what it's like to sit on the computer all day. It's not fun, especially when the market's going sideways. They check in sometime the last 30 minutes of the day, and then you should be good. Now, if there's a new one ticker payout opportunity, you could just copy and paste the trade if you'd like, and then go back to your life. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. And expect 1 to 2 alerts each week on average from the same strategy that I've showed that's had these kind of payouts. 81% accuracy, that's 4 out of 5 or better. 18.4% average winner, a $920 average payout based on that 5,000 initial starting investment. That's huge, folks. And remember, folks, if you're starting with a smaller account, that's totally fine, just like Denise. You need less than $100 to take the average trade. And you can always start smaller and grow your account over time after you learn the process. Now, if you're new to options, don't worry. I've instructed many people over my career how to trade options the correct way. And that's why we have a special training package to help you get started. I'll teach you all the way from rookie level to pro level in no time. Options for rookies. This course will teach you everything from level 1 options all the way up to level 3. And while the publisher would prefer to sell this for thousands of dollars on the side, the special deal includes, you get it included in your membership today. That course is great, by the way. It took me about 7 months to put it together. And just where you'll know, I've charged $497 for that course separately in the past. And that's not all I have up my sleeve for you today. Power of the QQQ. Over the first year of being a member of the one ticker payout program, I also fill in on some additional ways to target extra cash from the QQQ. The power of the QQQ. I'll spill the beans on some of my best kept secrets so you can go after even more trades in this one ticker if you'd like to.
Tom, it seems like you're really going above and beyond to give everyone everything they need to get started. Now, also, we see a ton of questions in the chat, fantastic questions. We'll get to those towards the end once we're done. Now, I know that some of the top programs that you sell typically go as much as $5,000, and the one ticker payout program seems like it would be worth even more. So tell me, spill the beans on the price at least. How much is it going to run, folks? The 7,500?
No, not going to be 7,500, not even half that amount.
Oh.
Today, we put together a very special deal for the new members who join me on the one ticker payout program. Like I mentioned before, so far from the study, the 2-click trade could have helped anyone collect an average of $3,000 per month in payouts. So I was originally planning on doing a one ticker payout program scholarship. I'm going to charge $3,000 for the first year subscription with the goal of helping you pay it off in the first month. That's what I was going to do. But then I got to thinking, I knew even I could do better. You see, I don't want this to be another bill you have on your plate to pay for year after year. So instead of having to pay for a full year's access as the base membership, we'll skip that step, automatically upgrade today's new members to lifetime. Wow. And that means once you join the one ticker payout program today, you'll never have to pay any subscription fees or renewals after. You get 2-click trades sent to you on a silver platter for years and years to come. But not just that. Look at our last 18 trades since October. We haven't lost any of our live trade alerts, going 18 for 18. Now, I don't know about you, that's pretty good. And to celebrate, I'm giving new members a celebration discount of $500 off, meaning not only will you upgrade your membership to VIP lifetime, you'll also be getting an extra $500 off the lifetime VIP price today. Now, of course, I can never promise future gains or protect against losses, but I want you to be totally satisfied with this subscription. I want you to follow along with the one ticker payout for the next year, take the trades with real money or just paper trade them, totally up to you. If after your first 14 days of use, you decide the gains just ain't up to what you thought they'd be, or the education that we do isn't what you were looking for, no worries. Call our team, we'll refund every penny of your membership cost. Wow. And I want today's decision to be a complete no-brainer for you. Remember, I'm hoping to bring in 100 new folks under this program. And if you're one of them, the lifetime deal won't run you to $3,049 per year. It won't be the $24.97 for the lifetime access. Only $19.97 for a one-time payment for VIP lifetime access. Wow.
Yeah.
But with our celebration discount, it takes it down to $14.97 one time. Now it's a no-brainer.
One and done, less than $1,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you want to secure your spot at these prices, do it now. Click the link in the chat. They've got it in there. Go to dtitrader.com/lifetime or call 904-706-3532. And remember, folks, don't have to look at charts, no digging for the next hot tip, no staring at complex. Be able to tell time. Know when 3:30 Eastern time comes around each day. Able to simplify our life by only tracking before the market closes. Been able to keep the average payouts of $3,000 per month, including both winners and losers, both good and bad markets. As a matter of fact, just over the last 8 months alone, across all winners and losers, you could have been sitting at $13,091 in profit already, and that's on real live alerts being issued. And that's enough to pay for a lifetime membership 6x. Lock in your special $14.97 lifetime membership today at that price if you're one of those 100. And of course, it comes with my full service guarantee. Follow along with the one ticker program for the next year. Take the trades for real money or just paper trade them. Totally up to you. If after your first 14 days of use, you decide that the gains aren't up to par or the education isn't what you were looking for, no worries. Call our team, we'll refund every penny of your membership. Now, my goal is to take as much uncertainty off of your shoulders as possible. That's why I'm giving you direct access to the daily customer service Zoom room, where you can join in the live Zoom room and get all your questions answered daily. What's there to lose? If you're interested in making money, this is for you. Go to the one ticker, lock it in at this price, $14.97 lifetime membership today.
And guys, when Tom showed me the strategy behind the one ticker payout program, I was truly amazed because I am a day trader, meaning I look at charts. So to have something that eases my eyes, not be on the computer all day, actually tell time, like Tom said, it's not only shown the power to score big payouts when there's overnight moves, but it's done it even when the broad markets barely budge an inch. For example, like back on April 10th, from market close to open, S&P 500 gained 0%. But with the one ticker payout program, $5,000 invested could have paid out $1,267 in profit. And just a few days later, it was the exact same story, rinse, wash, and repeat. Someone had $5,000 from market close to market open, S&P 500 paid $0. But of course, with this one ticker payout program, we could have walked away with an extra $933 by the morning. So Adam posted the link in the chat there. Go to dtitrader.com/lifetime and lock it in. $14.97 for lifetime, meaning one and done. Okay. And just hear from Tom's top love letters, rather, that he's received over the years from his sister services. Whitney, who told us she made her cost of subscription plus $500 in her first week. Jim, who's made a total of $2,060. Great way to start the month. Pass it along his thanks to Tom. There's Ken, who loves the simplicity of it. It's a great tool to trade, picked up an extra $3,200 today. Emmanuel from New Mexico, you're a great teacher, which is also what you want when you're trading with a mentor. You want someone who's a teacher at heart. He made $2,200 from one trade. Now, these are some of the very best stories so far, and I love this next one here. Kenneth, who said, Tom is an excellent coach, trainer, trader, easy to follow. He's up 110%, and he's a member for life. So be like Kenneth and lock in your lifetime membership here, $14.97. The link is in the chat, dtitrader.com/lifetime.
Folks, it's time to make a choice. Chicken, fish, or steak. You can go back to whatever you were doing putting full faith in the markets, the economy, the government, hoping for the best. Or you can take things in your own hands and fill the massive hole in our pockets right now. Or you can do even better, something new. Start targeting these one ticker payouts right away. That's the challenge. Accuracy is 81%, 18.4% average winner, 920 average payout. The choice is yours. So what will you do? Lock in your special $14.97 lifetime membership today. That is the deal of the day. Let's answer some common questions.
All right. Question number 1 is how much money is needed?
Well, the average trade is only $100.
Okay. That sounds good to me. Now, question number 2 is will every trade be a winner? It's a silly one.
Of course not. No strategy wins 100% of the time, even though I am 100% correct in June. But according to my test, in real money trades, these one ticker payouts have been extremely profitable for folks who stick to the system.
Yes, consistency will always win. Agreed. Question number 3 is should I be worried about more downside in the market this year?
That's the beauty of this. Doesn't matter. The market can go up, go down, or stay in a range. Instead, we target extra cash overnight when the markets are closed and we're sleeping.
All right. Can I trade this in an IRA or 401k?
Yes, it's retirement account friendly. And if you're using a normal account, any regular brokerage does the trick.
Awesome. Now, when is the next trade?
Well, that information will only go to the members.
I thought I could sneak one in there. Now, question number 6 is how do I start the one ticker payout program in my own account?
Pretty simple. Reach over here, grab your mouse, click the link in the chat, and we'll show you how it works.
Sounds simple enough. All right, guys, we'll just go to dtitrader.com. Let's get into some of the questions in the chat. Are you ready, Tom?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. So let me scroll all the way to the top, meaning if you just posted a question, give us a second. All right, let me see here. Admin asked, for the ones that don't work out, how much is the loser percentage-wise?
Somewhere between 30 and 40%.
Awesome. So you're not losing 100% that you invest. Okay. All right. Ian is asking, what is the risk for each of these trades?
Somewhere between 30 or 40%.
Okay. They're asking the same thing differently.
Right.
All right. John is asking, how many trades per month on average?
It's going to average about 2 per week. So that's what is that, 8 to 10 a month.
Okay. 8 to 10 a month. All right here. And Tim, the investment starting stake was $5,000. Let's see. I think we answered. Oh, Ed is asking, why restrict yourself to only the QQQ?
Well, the QQQ has a unique quality. It has more bounce. If you play golf, you know what I'm talking about. It can go higher or lower depending on the move in the general market. And it gives you the kind of elasticity you need to make these kind of trades.
All right, awesome. Now, Diane is asking, what is the minimum recommended for a small account? I know the trades are, I'm sorry.
I would say $2,000 ought to be in your account.
Okay. All right, now are we using pulls? I'm sorry, not pulls, puts as well as calls?
Yes, puts and calls are available.
Okay, and then what level of option trading should they have, minimum?
All right, here, that is something that's new that's come along in recent years. After you take my course, you'll qualify for any broker out there. So if you have any trouble with that, I'll help you, I guess, give you what I say, the right words to say to get approved. A lot of people, the compliance officers today, I used to be a compliance officer, and so you really have to answer the questions to make sure they understand that you know what the risk you're taking.
Gotcha, okay. Now, Marge was asking, do you give guidelines for preset exits?
Oh, absolutely. We know that after we enter the trade.
Perfect. All right. Kathy's saying, does one have to be invested in multiple accounts or can they just use one?
No, just be one account.
All right, awesome. I think we covered a good amount of the questions. Some of them are repeats. So let's see if you guys have any questions. We're here for a few more minutes and we can answer them all. Let's see. Mike is saying calls and puts only level 1. I know it from my own experience. Perfect. All right. I think we answered a great amount of the questions. We'll still hang on just a few more minutes here.
Yeah, one of the things that people need to do is sort of educate themselves. And this course that I've attached here is a course that took me about 6 months about how to really learn about options. And options can be very difficult if you got somebody that doesn't trade and trying to teach you. And so I've built the course around the real life experience of doing options, which you get that benefit that you don't have to go lose the money I lost over the years to learn these lessons. And that's the beautiful thing about that course. We're just tying it into the membership.
Gotcha.
The $100 trade, explain it. That means that the trade costs $1. And if it's a security option, $100 is one option at $1. The price of $1.
All right, let's see here. Now, Mike was asking, and I just put an answer in the chat. He said, how much do you need to put down to make 2,000? So with my logic, I'm thinking if we're starting with 5,000 for those $1,900 payouts or so, just double it. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much just double the amount you're going to put on the line. But one thing I'd tell you about that, if you're going to change the amount, I would go 10 trades, see the 10 trades, see how you did, make sure that you're acclimated to the process. Because one of the things that I've found that people, plunge and they really need to go slow at start to get the rhythm down, okay? There's a rhythm to this. I'll teach you the rhythm.
All right.
Maybe we say, I'll teach you how to dance with these options.
Sounds good. I like dancing.
There you go.
Now, Fred is asking, what time do the trades typically close? And followed by another question, are they designed to close out automatically?
Well, the answer is both yes, your choice. What I like to do is say I have 10 contracts, okay, at $1. I might sell half at a predetermined price, and then I'll wait till the next morning and I call it milk the trade a little bit and let it run even more, because sometimes some of these trades are outstanding if you have a big movement that follows through the next day. But generally speaking, starting off, you'll get out at the same time until you get at least 10 under your belt.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Any more questions? Now, Tom, do you have
thing
any?
you don't have to worry about, folks, when it comes to the QQQ, I've traded it probably more than any other security index out there. And there's just certain uniqueness to it. Reason we're telling you get in before the close is because you don't have to be in it during the day during the setup phase. That way you can show up with a few minutes to go and get the trade put on, because you got up to 4:15 actually to get the trade executed, because you got an option not expiring that exact day, but the next day or the next couple of days.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Now, do you have any advice for anyone who's a beginner like Kathy?
Yes, absolutely. Better join this, Kathy. You've got a lucky break me being here, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to teach you how to do this the right way. Okay.
Yes.
I hear this all the time for a lot of the students, Sarah. We just heard this at Sawgrass. Had a bunch of new people there. Said, Tom, I was so glad I found you first.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people had to go through they had to kiss a lot of princes to find the right one, right? But you're lucky, Kathy, being here. I'll just tell you that, because you'll find out that you'll learn, you'll get better at this game. It's not an easy game, but you'll get better at it if you'll learn what I teach you.
Yes. Kathy has no bad habits to unlearn.
Right, exactly.
All right. Now, Astri is asking, and I'm sorry if I butchered your name there, what does one do if the option just stays in a flat pattern on the following days?
Well, you exit out and you don't make the money that you would have made if it moved.
Okay. All right. And now, are you giving those updates in the Telegram as well, like as you're trading with them? Okay.
Absolutely. That's the thing. I love this Telegram, Sarah. I mean, in fact, I've been converting everything I do to Telegram, because I can reach out and touch the student without going through the logistical bureaucracy to get messages to it, which is a downfall, I think, for a lot of people, because they don't know really what's what's going on with a particular trade or anything like that. And I think I attribute a lot of the success that I've had with that new Telegram app because it's so great to post things.
Yeah, and it's faster than email and text, while especially
Right.
when you have such a large following and the market is moving, you need to reach them quickly.
Exactly.
Fantastic. All right, Tom. Well, I think we are ready to wrap up here. We answered a great amount of the questions, I think all of them. So,
I
all
got
right.
one last thing to say, and that is don't let this opportunity pass you. You're going to love this style of trading. Number one, you'll get in, you'll get used to it. It's time to take it off the next day. You'll work that, according to your schedule. But the bottom line is you'll love this process. And I love it. So there you go. And I've traded a lot of different ways.
Yes. He went through all the hard work, all the tests and trials, just so he can come here and keep it simple for us.
That's it. Keeping it simple.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tom, for your time today.
It was fun doing this with you, and thank you very much. And I'll see everybody in the One Ticker Payout program.
Sounds good. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
Um,